Welcome to this course in marketing research. I'm glad you decided to join me on a lovely journey of the world of marketing research. My name is Dr. Vishal Lala, and I'll be teaching this course. I'm a professor in the Department of Marketing in the Lubin School of Business at Pace. When I'm not performing the role of a professor, I'm also a data science consultant. You can learn much more about me on LinkedIn. My background is in marketing. I began with an undergraduate in an unrelated area in chemistry, and then soon pivoted to doing an MBA in marketing because I was excited at the time to learn more about psychology, and I was also very keen on learning more about business. Combining psychology and business seemed to me like what marketing is. And so I pursued an MBA in marketing. This was followed by a brief stint at UPS, where I got to learn a lot about the decision-making processes at UPS. One thing that got my attention was that a lot of decisions were being made based on gut feel of managers. I've always thought about decision-making as being an objective process. And so I really wanted to figure out more objective methods or quantitatively driven methods, which I assumed would be objective, ways of making decisions. This led me to do a PhD in marketing. Whilst doing the PhD, I was also drawn to a lot of programming courses, a lot of coding courses. So I took on a bunch of classes in computer programming, computer analysis, and that led me to, so alongside I picked up a master's in MIS. I've always been excited about numbers and data. And so I took a whole bunch of statistics courses during my MBA and during my PhD. And to this day, one thing that gets me very excited is any talk about data or stats. The reason I share this background with you is because it ties in really well to the current course we're going to be delving into. This is a course in marketing. It's a course in marketing that emphasizes the use of data to make better decisions. We're going to be analyzing data, not using a pen and paper. Rather, we'll be using computer software to make sense of data. So my background fits really well with the purpose and goal of this course. In general, this course is one of many analytics-oriented courses I teach. The other courses I teach go by names like predictive analytics, visual analytics, data science for business. That's not listed up here, but I introduced that recently. Other courses I teach include consumer behavior, introduction to marketing, and a technology course called digital marketing. Much of my early research was in decision making, or rather focusing on the poor decisions people make in shopping. I also just dabbled with web and social media and have published a couple of papers on sales promotion, more specifically, the intergenerational influence on sales promotions. You can read more about my research on Google Scholar. A bit more about myself. I've got two wonderful sons, Rohan and Nikhil, who are 14 and 13 years old now. And when I'm not here teaching, I'm spending time with them. Or I'm playing with data, which I'm passionate about. I like being in shape, so I spend time working out. Things I like doing other than that include swimming, playing volleyball. I like spending time outdoors, and I'm very passionate about protecting animals. That's a bit about myself. You're here for a course on marketing research. So let me talk about that next. This is a course that I'm inspired by because it involves dissecting business problems, leveraging our understanding of human psychology, using data and statistics to address those problems. It involves translating inferences from analysis into compelling stories. More specifically, this is a course in marketing research. It's application-oriented. It's a course that covers research design, measurement scales, design of questionnaires, various analysis methods and techniques, and finally, an emphasis on presentation of results. My approach to teaching this course has been shaped by many, many years of teaching, and also reflection on my own learning methods. What I've found is that there's no better way to learn than to actually practice it. As the Chinese proverb goes, tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. Thus, learning by doing is the way we're going to do it in this course. Here's how I'll progress then. I'll discuss a topic, and then I'll demonstrate learning in class. I'll demonstrate the topic or the issue in class. You will demonstrate your learning by doing an assignment on it. Ultimately, you'll be tested on the exam on what you did on an assignment or in class. Now, a great way to learn is from one's mistakes. So I'm a big believer in second chances when it's possible. For at least a couple of assignments in this course, there are second chances. That is, if you get it wrong the first time, you can take a crack at it the second time. You get a second crack at it. And even third chances, but that's it. We don't want it to be a trial and error process. So for certain assignments that are auto-graded, you can take a second crack at the assignment and even a third crack if you're not happy with your score. Okay, so here's what I hope you will achieve at the end of this course. You'll develop research designs to gather primary data and learn about the different types of secondary data available. You'll develop instruments for collecting data, specifically a questionnaire. You will learn about various ways to analyze data. You'll know which technique to use in what context, whether to use regression or ANOVA. You'll find a way to present results using compelling data visualizations. Along the way, you will make this all happen using the right kind of software for analysis, for data gathering, and for survey construction. The books for this course are Marketing Research Methodological Foundations by Don Iacobucci and Gil Churchill. This will be the primary textbook for this course. It is a fairly inexpensive textbook. Then there's another book by Naresh Malhotra that has not been updated in a while, but is also a very good textbook. If you had to pick a textbook to choose from the first or second, I'd recommend the first one because it's fairly updated and also inexpensive. Another link I have is for discovering statistics using SPSS. SPSS being the software we're going to use for analyzing data in this course. Many students struggle with analyzing data, and if you think you're one of those people, then you may want to get a hold of this book that doesn't cost much money. It's fairly inexpensive. Again, it's I think $40 or $50 for this book, and it's a great, well-written book that takes you in a hands-on way through the various analytical techniques using SPSS. Now, in addition, there are many learning materials available on a platform called LinkedIn Learning. Now, if you're like my sons, you may be tempted to go on YouTube when you want to find out about something you don't know. Well, LinkedIn Learning has some really well-curated courses that have great videos about all sorts of things. For example, this course here covers essential training on SPSS. I think it's a really well done course, and it is free for you as a Pace University student. So I encourage you to take advantage of that and use these resources. In addition, we are going to be using a lot of web tools. Many of them, of course, are free. There are databases we're going to be using like Simmons and Social Explorer, and these will be available to you through Pace University. There's a survey software called Qualtrics we'll be using, again, available to you through Pace University. Software called IBM SPSS. I'm going to share a downloadable link for you. And then Tableau, again, I'll share information with you how to get a hold of that software. So all the software for this course, I'll share with you in through links on Classes. Classes, as I just mentioned, is the platform we're using for sharing and disseminating class materials. This is also known as Brightspace, but we call it Classes at Pace University. This is where you're going to find things like slides, articles, if any, links to videos such as this. They're all going to be on Brightspace or Classes. The assessment for this course is fairly straightforward. You've got 10 assignments. Each assignment is worth 50 points. That's 500 points. And the final exam, or the only exam, is going to be worth 500 points for a total of 1,000 points. That's equivalent to 100%. So you can think about it as 10 points is like 1%. Now, one common question is, how do you do well in this course? Well, one way is to review the content of this course. There are many submissions to this course. It is critically important to complete them in time. Stay on top of your schedule. Don't leave things for the last moment. Get things done in time. I also have a link here that is called Learn from Survivors, which is basically a compilation of the comments the students have shared with me to pass on to you. That is students who took this course before, and I asked them at the end of the semester to answer a couple of questions. Many of the questions are designed to help me improve this course, but one of the questions in particular asked them to give you advice, that is future students' advice on how to do well in this course. And that's what you could find under the Survivors link. Bear in mind the advice shared here is both for the online kind of courses, such as this one I'm teaching, as well as in-person courses. Okay. On to a bit about my philosophy about teaching, about pedagogy, and so on. One of the most important things that I've kind of come to realize about myself is that it matters a lot for me to make a difference in your life, right? That's what I'm here for. My goal is, my hope is to have a positive impact on your learning, on your life in general. I'm also a big believer in the importance of showing up. As they say, half the battle is simply showing up. Not making excuses if you don't show up, though. It is really important for me. I value equity greatly. And I don't mean this in a DEI sense. I mean this in the sense of everybody should be treated fairly on the same scale, right? I also am a big believer in the importance of working hard, not quitting, persisting with it, and not being afraid of a challenge. And finally, it's critically important to keep learning. Learning never stops. Not now, not after this course, not after you finish this degree, not ever. That's my belief, right? And the reason I bring this up is because it ties in well into my expectations of you. So I expect you to show up, as in show up to the materials, get things done in time, be attentive, go through material carefully. In an in-person class, I would say be attentive in a classroom, but we're asynchronous out here. So I'd say, go through all the material carefully. Be assured that no student is going to get special treatment in this course. Deadlines are really important. It is really important for you to make sure that you get things done in time and not waste your energy making excuses because they will not be accepted. Deadlines are set in stone. Now, I'd like to know more about yourself, and I'm sure the other students in this class would also like to know more about you. You can share more about yourself via the discussion thread posted on Classes, which I'm going to take you to right now. So let's go over now to classes to find this course. So here we are. This is the course shell for marketing research. So on the left, you're going to see these little cards. These cards have, module information. So for example, I label them as 0, 1, 2, and so on. Like the first one is telling you a little bit about module 0, and then module 1, and so on. You can click into these and learn more about what's in that particular module. But what I really recommend, the path I recommend using is going into content up here, because then you get a left navigation bar with a whole bunch of content in it. But before we head over there, here's the announcement section. It's blank as of right now because there's nothing to tell you right now. Very soon you'll see announcements showing up here, and I'll be posting a number of announcements here as we go through during the semester. You can change your notification settings, I believe either in the gear or in your name, so that you get an email or even a text alert whenever I post a new announcement here. All right, moving into, let me head over to the content section now. Clicking on content. And now you see on the left, there is the syllabus for this course. Let me begin by jumping right into the syllabus. So this is what's selected right now. And once we're done with this, we'll go down to this list of under table of contents, see what's on there as well. Okay, so on to the syllabus. The syllabus, I believe I've already downloaded. Let me see if I can open it up right here. Or hoping I can find, okay, let's just do it right here. I'm going to go and open this in a fresh window, the syllabus in a fresh window. That's easier for us to kind of see, right? Okay, so there's a syllabus for this course. There's a little something about myself there, how you can contact me, and then a little something about the course itself and the learning objectives for this course, right? And then it goes on to speak a little bit about the books I just went over, and then on to the assessment aspects of this course. So we are going to have basically an exam, that's singular, not plural, that's a typo there, and the assignments aspect of this course. The grades are based on slabs listed out here. Let me go down to the most important part of this syllabus, which is the class schedule. Here we are with the schedule. I thought I had more here. Okay, here we are with the class schedule. Now the class schedule lays out for you, session by session, what we are going to be doing. So for example, on May 29th, the content listed under Module 1 will become visible to you on classes. Along with that would be, included in that would be things like lecture slides, any articles, videos, all would be part of the content release on May 29th at midnight, right? So at midnight or 12:01 a.m. is when this material will become visible to you, right? And just to be clear, this is all Eastern time. I'm not very good at writing with a mouse. Okay. And then on May 30th, that is on Friday. So we're beginning on Thursday. It's kind of awkward beginning to the week. So you get another session on Friday. So on Friday, much more content becomes available. All this content for modules 2 and 3 will become available. You'll notice I've got these numbers in the beginning, which are module numbers. And then somewhere towards the end, there's like this, the CH.3. Well, the chapter refers to the chapter in the textbook by Don Iacobucci and Gil Churchill, right? So if you want to kind of connect the dots here, where's this content coming from in the book, you can look up these chapters. These are modules 2 and 3, of course. So when you go on classes, you'll see this is a module 2 and a module 3, and that's where you'll find these content materials. Now, related to this topic, specifically secondary data, is our assignment number 1. So assignment number 1 is due before, it's due on June 2nd, that's a Monday, before the end of the day. The end of the day is, well, when the clock hits midnight, you've got the new day. So, say 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. That's a long, at that point, at that time, assignment 1 will no longer be available, right? So you need to make sure you complete the assignment before it goes off. And that's exactly why I'm emphasizing here the importance of deadlines. Now, any given assignment could have multiple sections. For instance, assignment 1 has 4 sections to it. You need to complete all 4 sections and submit them before June 2nd, 11:59 p.m. Once that time passes, you'll no longer be able to complete that assignment. So keep that in mind. As far as the number of attempts is concerned, all the attempts you want to get in, let's say, as I mentioned before, for assignment 1, you're allowed multiple attempts. Well, you've got 3 attempts. Those 3 attempts you need to get in before the deadline. Once the deadline passes, you can no longer attempt the assignment. It's gone. Those points are already logged in, right? Now, on June 2nd, you'll also have a couple of more modules coming online, like modules 4, 5, and 6 will become available. And then we have assignment number 2 on June 6th. So again, you've got another deadline. June 6th, remember, 11:59 p.m. is going to be your next sort of like your deadline, right? And of course, no reason to actually wait till 11:59 p.m. because God forbid, your Wi-Fi drops or something happens and you miss it by a few seconds. Well, then you lose those points or you lose the opportunity to earn those points. So make sure you get this done well before June 6th, end of day. Don't wait till the end of day to get the assignment completed. We move on to June 9th, and again, this kind of repeats itself. For assignments 3 and 4, these are not auto-graded, so these assignments don't have the you don't have the luxury of getting feedback and resubmitting for assignments 3 and 4. You can still submit any number of times you want to. I just won't be able to give you feedback on your submissions because they're not auto-graded. So we go into June 9th. We've got some new stuff coming in, analyzing data stuff coming in, exciting stuff there. And then we go into, let's see what else we do next. Let me wipe off my graffiti here. Okay, so here we go. And on to June 20th and so on and so forth. You kind of notice that we have a consistent like Monday, Friday type schedule. That's what I've kind of tried to do, unless there's a holiday, in which case we gotta deviate from the Monday, Friday kind of schedule here. And then we go on to various topics here. Oh, there's assignment X, right? Assignment X is like your 11th assignment, right? So I said we have 10 assignments, but really you have 11 assignments you're offered, which means you need to do 10 of them. If you do all 11, I'll drop the score for the lowest scoring assignment from the list. And then on June 30th, we go to new topic, new assignments there. And our exam will be on July 9th. So mark that date, okay? The exact time of the exam, I'll share with you soon. But for now, kind of note that we're doing the exam on July 9th, Wednesday. That's Wednesday, July 9th is when our exam is going to be. So make sure you have that day available, like set aside time for doing exam that day, okay? So that's a little bit about the syllabus and the schedule. The only other thing that I'm going to share, I'm going to share with you right now is I'm going to go back to classes and kind of show you, give a quick tour of what's on classes. Of course, you can do this yourself also. So again, remember my recommendation is to navigate through content, like click on content and then kind of go through the list here one by one. So let's click on, about this course first. So what's on about this course is going to be something about this course, exactly as the name suggests, right? So a lot of these content materials are timed. So for example, this opens on May 29th at 9 a.m., right? So there's no video link here because I'm doing the video right now as I speak. Once I'm done with the video recording, I'll upload it and there'll be a link available for you to click on and watch this video. All the videos are going to be posted on YouTube. So this link here will take you to YouTube where you can watch the introduction video. The accompanying slides that I'm sharing with you, that I shared with you, are available here in this link called introduction slides. Now, down below here is where I would like you to introduce yourself so your classmates and I can know a bit about you. Now, on May 29th, what else you've got to do? Well, you've got to also go into the next topic, Introduction to Marketing Research. Now, I've already got the video here for this topic, as well as the slides for this topic. So you got to read through that. And then there's work for May 30th. May 30th has, a bit more work than I think. May 29th only had one set of slides and one video. I think the next topic as well has, again, one video and slides. But as we go down to, let's say, secondary data on May 30th, you're going to have many more videos showing up, right? So you got a lot of videos because I want to keep the videos short enough. So I broke it up into many small parts here. There's some information here about database you've got to access and how you can go about it as well, and the slides as well. Given below here is our first assignment then, right? So to access the assignment, of course, it's not open yet, but once it's available and open, you click on the assignment, click on the link. It'll give you some instructions about the assignment and answer a few questions. It is, of course, open book, open web, and it's not timed. So you have until the deadline to complete that assignment, right? So no reason not to score full points on the assignments such as these. Okay. Assignment 1 is one of those assignments where you've got allowed multiple attempts. So you don't get it right the first time, take another crack at it, and hopefully that does it for you. If that doesn't get you to full points, then you take one more crack at it to get it right. All right, so that's all I have for you in this short introduction video. Again, I'm glad you're taking this course. In a matter of another, 5 or so weeks, you'll have a course under your belt, a course in marketing research. Glad you made the decision to join me here. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you via email. You have my email in the syllabus. If you don't, it's vlala@pace.edu. Thank you.